All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode 393. Tonight, I'm here with James Babb,
Hello.
Alex Schlegel,
What's up, everybody?
and Lou.
Hey,
What's going on, guys?
worms.
This isn't just any Lou, okay? This is Lou Sander Fiend, also known as Dandelions, also known as, what are some of your other aliases, Lou, that some of your fans may recognize?
Oh, God. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Just in general, Lou. It's kind of basic. I'm like a one-named non-celebrity. I'm kind of like Cher.
For me,
Ouch.
you're just like a reason for the internet to exist. Like I don't know, without if they've somehow found a way to permaban you, I don't think I'd even need the internet. Like what would be the point if I couldn't get your memes and just kind of sustains me through these interesting times.
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about you, Babby.
Lou and I are acquainted from the Freedom Fiends, which was a fun radio show back in the day, and our shows together were always a hoot.
Nice.
Yes, they were. I recruited you for that. I felt very, very happy to get you on board. So as you can see, James and I have a little bromance thing going on. We complete each other, and yeah, we complete each other. That's all you need to know. We can't.
Well, did you
quit
know
each other.
my daughter Dorothy was on the Freedom Fiends before I was?
Yes, I got her on there too. I interviewed her.
With that was in the bus, right? With,
Yeah.
with the
Ben
band Quaker.
Stone. Yeah,
Was this a Pork Fest
2014.
event? Nice.
Can you just imagine what an opportunity for a kid that was, right? To be interviewed, right, like by the Bad Quaker and Lou Sander Fiend on the Freedom Fiends, at that early, in her development. So
Does she even understand how close to greatness that she came? She was like a mile away from it, but that's pretty darn close.
I think she has a clue, and I think it's been a good part of her development, and just coming to Pork Fest, and because otherwise, like if it wasn't for Pork Fest, like all of this like anarchy stuff would just be dad stuff, right? But because she's come to Pork Fest her whole life and other events and smoke downs in Philly or like End the Fed rallies and stuff, like, and met plenty of other people, right, that like just kind of take some of that burden off, to know that there's like cool people that she can just hang out with and I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, that's something that I really appreciate about my first Pork Fest, which was 2014. When didn't she win like the Shark Tank elevator pitch competition or something like that? And she won. I think she won a 3D printer at that.
Nice.
She won an ounce of gold that had been donated by Tim Fry of Roberts and Roberts Brokerage.
Oh, I thought
Wow.
that was 2016.
That was 2014.
Well,
That's
I'm not sure of which year was which, but that when she did win a nice contest.
Either
when
way,
the prize
that's
was. Yeah.
either way. That's looking good right now with
Yeah.
inflation.
Yeah, all right. So she had the 3D printer and she was making the refrigerator magnets and other swag for
Right.
people to display, and I think she won something out of that, and that's how she got the thing I loved about
big win. Yeah.
the thing I loved about Pork Fest was all that child labor, because you got all these kids running around hustling. As you're walking through like the little camp area, you'll see some kid will grab some chalk and write down dog sitting, babysitting, dog walking, all this other stuff. Writing this just on the pathway, go over to site such and such, or giving a phone number. And they were like selling stuff for the other vendors. I know Davi had had a couple kids slinging his merch. And I remember one young girl, she comes back and she's got this handful of loot and she's filling up her backpack to go back out there. And he's trying to pass her something. And she's like, no, that stuff don't move. Get rid of it. No, you sell that over here. I need this stuff here. I need the money. I'm not carrying it. I'm not carrying this stuff around for the exercise.
Well, it's a great way to deploy child labor, and it's I mean, bring your kids to PorkFest and have them sell shit for Bitcoin. Okay.
Yeah,
and consider it your retirement plan. Okay, like it's not just a vacation plan. Like it can work for you.
Yeah, and selling little bottles of ice cold water. So they were quite predatorial. They see somebody looked a little bit gimped out and say, "Looks like you could use some water. $1."
Well, I don't know if you remember the story when Dorothy. Wasn't Dorothy's fault, but Dorothy had like one of the earliest events they had was like a kids agorism event in the arcade. And kids set up little booths, and Dorothy was pretty little at the time, like she might have been like 7 years old, and she had like knitted some like pot holders, right? Like coasters, like little knitted coasters, right? And these were for sale, and they had a little like section for kids to do their own marketing and whatnot, and so we just included. We had a cooler of beer there naturally. So we just would include a beer with every sale. Like if you bought the coaster, right? Like it came, you also got a beer, right? Which, seemed, just like good marketing, but the NPR reporter came along like right through there and like spun it like kids are selling booze at PorkFest.
Oh God. Of course Nazi propaganda radio would do that.
But I mean, it wasn't that obvious that we were selling booze. We were giving the booze away, right? It was just, but anyway, so don't talk to NPR reporters. They're snitches.
Kick them out. Give them the Lou Rockwell treatment. What was it when the New York Times showed up at the Mises Institute? You just kicked them off the property. It's like, get out. Like, not even worth talking to. Because anyway. They're going to spin it. They're going to spin it however they want. They're not going to be honest. So, but yeah, PorkFest, good times. Good times. I don't think I'll be able to go this year though.
Yeah.
What?
I won't be able to either.
Yeah, there's too many events going on.
Yeah, too much shit going on.
What's competing?
This
the Tom Woods wedding. You guys are going to Tom Woods' wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna crash it, dude. We're crashing it. PRL.
Yeah, we're
doing a live podcast.
Well, I heard this. I heard this time he's
right
marrying an adult.
Wait, how old was his last wife?
She was none of my business. I didn't even want to mention that. No, I just did see somebody talking about that, which I thought was totally none of my business. But
I thought I'd mention it on a podcast. So.
Yeah, no. I take that. I didn't. It's totally not appropriate for this show.
Speaking
After
of,
all,
God.
Let's revisit this kind of like trash gutter talking nonsense and gossiping on the After Hours show for Patreons only.
Yeah, if you want to hear that kind of amazing content, you've got to subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/punkrocklibertarians for as little as $1 a month. You can get access to Babs
lowbrow gossip.
Yeah, sharing gossip about famous celebritarians and other C-list, B-list, Z-list celebrities.
Sounds kind of like a peep show.
Kind of, yeah. Except there's no visuals at all.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
We also have Lou, what you don't know is we also have a higher level, which is just for feds and informants, where we just talk about all of our plans, all
$2,000
pirate stuff. Like instead of you having to go through an expensive surveillance thing, we just allow you to subscribe, and we just tell you everything.
Yeah, you can disable that rootkit on my computer, and you just get to have everything right there.
Yeah, speaking of the Fed level of our Patreon, so this was kind of random, and we were talking about it before we went live. But I was tagged in a Twitter post by one of my followers tagged me, and they said, they tagged me at Alexander and my whatever, all my numbers that were randomly generated. But
Still haven't changed.
I don't know how. I mean, I guess I got to figure it out at some point. But I'm just like, whatever. It makes it harder.
If you want people to follow you,
yeah, it might be. I might want to change my Twitter handle, but basically, this guy hits me up or I don't know what. Who knows? It could be a bot. I don't know. But was number Alexander 4607966 was number 88 on my follower list. You have won the Ender 3. Please DM me. So I'm like,
what's the Ender 3?
The Ender 3 is a 3D printer. It's
first of all, can you confirm that is the actual person you think it is, right? And it's not like a posing an account that's posing as him, right? Does it have the right number of followers or some way to confirm?
Yeah, well, I don't. That's the thing. I don't know this individual. So I'm looking at it right now.
Ender 3. That's a low end printer. It looks like
it's low end. Yeah, it's
only like $190.
Why didn't this guy just DM you himself?
Right. So that was kind of odd. And then at first, I could not DM him. So there was a conversation that went back and forth with someone else that tagged. So yeah, I thought that was kind of odd. I looked at the followers. There are 134 followers, 526 following. There's quite a few mutuals that I know, but none of these individuals in real life. I mean, there's a couple familiar accounts or people that I'm familiar with, but yeah, I don't know. It seems a little off, and I couldn't DM him. There was no way to message him. And then
why couldn't you DM?
His account was probably blocked for spam or something. Like it sounds.
Could have been. Yeah, but then
they probably got hacked, and then they just started spamming people's accounts from his account.
It sounds an awful lot like when I would get these messages, or if I was commenting on a post, I'd see a response to my comment from Ellen DeGeneres letting me know that I won a prize. And it was really wild because I won prizes 3 days in a row, maybe more. And I kept blocking the account. So Ellen must have really wanted to get a hold of me to go and make all these additional accounts.
You're just that much of a winner, Lou. Just wherever you go, you win.
Could be.
Ed Kimmock's wondering, how does the Twitter?
I think.
Whoa!
We're getting
is there a cat fight?
Yep.
Black cat mocking you for not knowing how to use Twitter, Alex.
It's the black cat on black cat violence over here.
Yeah. No, it's not that. I mean, I guess it's just odd that he would message me and then DM me if you're interested, and I wasn't able to. And now it's just seems very suspect. It's like.
I think you should DM him and say, hell yeah, I'm interested. Right?
Well, I did. I said, oh yeah. He said, will you accept the Ender 3, or would you like to pass it on and have me pull another random number? And I was like, yeah, go ahead, Lou. Yeah.
To show how much you want it, you should learn how to say, thank you very much. I appreciate your offer in Nigerian.
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, it seems a little sus. So I'm like, sure.
Right. It sounds sketchy, but what if you got a 3D printer and you decided to make 3D printed weapons?
Exactly. But is that something I want shipped to my house? Like,
definitely not to your house.
Hey, Fed boy, send it to my new job I'll send it to my new job that I just started.
Amazon will ship it to your house within 3 hours and 46 minutes.
Have them send it to your Nigerian address.
Yeah, I think.
Or your Liberian address.
Or your Somali address.
There you go. We've all got them, right?
Yeah. Is there a market for that? Do we have any advertisers that want to advertise that service? We set up.
Well, I think we're going to have to leave that mystery unsolved.
How about Russia? Is there any problem with sending like 3D printing equipment to Russia these days?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like a crypto scammer, bots on Twitter. Yeah, that's Johnny Rico.
Sometimes I'm just so curious as to exactly what kind of scam is this? That you just want.
Yeah, how does the scam work? Right?
Find out what
you want to find the mechanics of the scam just for your own edification, right?
Right. I'm like, why would?
Because some of
What
them are actually
stage-
like fairly sophisticated, right?
It's like, are they going to ask me to cover shipping, or is it they want
Yeah.
my Bitcoin private key, or
Is it
my
they send me
mother's
like
maiden name?
200K and then I've got to like deposit the check and give them like the balance, and then turns out the check bounces? And
Yeah.
is that what?
I think that it would be very good. Tell them that you want to be a part of the scam. Ask them if they will sell you a franchise, and tell them that
Is
you
it a
need their
turnkey
bank.
operation?
Tell them that you need their banking information so that you can send them the money that they need for this.
Yeah. What's your
And-
routing number?
Right.
What's
Yeah.
your banking
Yeah.
info? I'll send you
And your 4-digit PIN and
Yeah.
the passcode for your bank.
Your mother's maiden name.
Yep.
Last four.
Yeah. Last
Last
four of
four
your.
of the
Well,
social.
they don't. I don't think they'd have a social security number in Nigeria.
Oh, that's true. They're not as fascist as we are.
Yeah,
Well,
that
anyways,
Anyway.
so
yeah.
look into that, Alex. When you get a chance.
Yeah, I'll give you guys. I'll give you an update. See how this goes. But yeah, it's just.
Meanwhile, Babs is out in the swamps right now. He's
I'm
out
in a
in the
secure and
Everglades.
undisclosed location. That's correct.
Yes.
Deep, far from civilization. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And
But you are in proximity to the Bitcoin conference, maybe.
that's right. That's right. Bitcoin 2022. It's a total normie, like Bitcoin for normal people, investment and whatnot. Yeah, it's total normal stuff. But there's going to be a free Ross NFT auction, and Lynn is going to be doing something with this auction, and I'm hoping it raises a lot of money for free Ross and associated causes. And so anyway, that's good. I think that's a good audience for free Ross. So I think it's going to be fun. Not to mention there's a bunch of cool other stuff like at the Shitcoin 2022 conference. And then I heard there's a Monero event and, other parties and whatnot. So this would be a good place to come and like drug people and get their private keys and like
And steal their shit coins.
Yeah.
So regarding the shitcoin conference, is that the new central bank digital currency that I've been hearing rumblings about?
Yeah, will they have an exhibit there? Will they be speaking at this conference? Possibly.
I'm sure they're going to be represented by their interests, no doubt. There's literally hundreds of speakers on this list of at this event. It is massive. Like, I mean, it's prime time. So hey, Bitcoin is for everyone, even scumbags, politicians. Speaking of, the president of El Salvador is supposed to be there, but then I saw a recent headline that he had to declare martial law due to murders being out of control. I'm like, uh-oh, like maybe you shouldn't be doing Bitcoin conferences if like hell's breaking loose back home.
Oh shit! Is this the start of the Great Reset?
I bet Bitcoin caused the murders. Because remember how there was like no terrorism and no drug use or any illegal activity until like after 2009, and the magic internet drug money came out there, and it started funding all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure and it's because of the volcano too, right? Like the volcano gods and need to be appeased. But trying to get the scoop on this story.
I'm not seeing anything about martial law. I am seeing.
Well, state of emergency.
emergency.
That's the euphemism. Okay, but basically he's given himself it's a politician giving himself sweeping new powers.
The constitutional rights of assembly and communication are temporarily suspended to allow law enforcement and the military to secure national territory. The penal system is ordered to implement the emergency at its maximum security prisons, with jail cells locked around around the clock.
Could you read that in Emperor Palpatine's voice, please? Or should I say Chancellor?
Chancellor.
Right, it's like
The message to gangs is, because of your actions, your homeboys will not be able to see a single ray of light, he said.
What?
That's what the president said.
I don't know. It's like
That doesn't sound fun. That sounds more like Biden than Palpatine.
Yeah. Oh no, that's Bukele. That is the president. Yeah, that's what.
Bukele, yeah.
What he
Well, so
said.
he's on the bill at the convention. So
Whoa, that'd be
I
interesting
might
if he
bump
shows
into
up.
him. Like we might be at the like, hey, who's that dude at the bar? Oh, that's the dude who just declared martial law in El Salvador. Like, what's up, dude? I mean,
How can we get him
Cat
on the
butt.
cast
I don't know.
next week?
Cat butt.
For the audio listeners, we got a cat
it's
here on
a,
the
uh,
camera.
now
Very Kyle
from Loose
Wagner
Cat's
thing.
perspective, that was an honor. Like that cat just did all of us at home an honor by
If he
displaying
sprays
its
us,
butt
then
for
what?
everyone to see.
Yeah, this turned
She-
into like a cat
If she
only
sprays
fan.
us. Sorry, I don't want to misgender your cat.
Well,
I'm not a
actually,
veterinarian.
with,
I'm not.
I'm not a veterinarian. I don't.
with the stuff that's been done
not a
already, I don't
biologist.
think we have to worry about it. Her gender is
Ambiguous.
yeah,
Let's just say not what it used to be.
right.
Not poor thing.
So is everything starting now, Biobs, or are we?
Well, the convention.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to help Lynn set up, and I think
Nice.
things are kind of underway. There's a whale party on Wednesday night.
A whale party.
It's going to be a big hit. The whale party, yeah.
So just all the whales are there.
That's where you want to come and
Schmooze?
like do the Bill Cosby thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
like drug your date, get their private key.
Yeah. Get everybody's private
know,
keys. Get some of that stuff you
yeah.
can like blow into their face, and it makes them like do whatever you want.
Whatever the current way of doing that is. I don't know. But this would be a
Whatever
good
the
target.
most
What is
modern-
the CIA tactics nowadays? What do they do?
What's the MK Ultra of 2022?
They put CNN on for like 15, 20 minutes.
Like, no, take my private keys, all of it. My Dogecoin too. Just take it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, MK Ultra was replaced with CNN. Have you guys seen the CNN Plus, the subscription service?
Oh my god.
I saw an
my
ad
God.
for it. Yeah,
Oh my
It's
god!
like it's even more CNN for those that just love it that much.
Yeah, the comments on the advertisement for it. Oh my god! It is the OP was getting pegged pretty hard, to put it mildly. So it did not go as
That's fine.
CNN Plus had anticipated. I don't think.
What is it? Just all
I
the
liked it
CNN
when
channels? Just
it's like
on
streaming
demand,
CNN.
or what is it?
I think it's like the usual CNN plus more. It's regular CNN to like the fifth power, so it's more CNN than you have ever seen before. I don't know.
Where you basically just
CNN Max.
does it give you like press releases directly from the Democratic National Committee?
Yeah,
Or,
it's
like,
just
and it
it's
doesn't
just a
even have to
microphone
go
on
through
Joe
a
Biden's
reporter?
desk.
No.
That's what it is.
No. This is additional channel. You're talking about regular CNN. So I don't know. Maybe there's some different shows. Maybe they drop F-bombs or something like that. Maybe I don't know. It's
now and again.
could be.
Maybe you
I
can
mean,
customize it.
Well,
like,
There's plenty of boobs on CNN.
yeah, was it Stelter? Our boy Stelter on there.
Who?
Potato Head. The one guy.
Brian Stelter.
Yeah.
No idea.
Do we have to play the song?
He's one of their
You're
I
right.
guess what would you call them, spokes liars? I mean,
Oh my
I don't
God,
know what's the
he's-
job title.
He's from Maryland. Too.
Propagandist.
He's
Yeah,
from
he's
our
like
neck of the woods.
Yeah.
What's it, Towson,
he's a
right?
total Fed. Yeah. Total Fed.
Does he host a show, or is he just one of the propaganda readers?
I think he has a show, right?
Because
Yeah, the show, his show basically is combating misinformation, the MDM in mainstream media, trusted sources. So he's like the fake journalist, the CIA
Right.
journalist.
Right, like
Ed-
God
Ed
forbid
Kimmick-
some Russian malinformation, got out there.
Ed Kimmick says they just show reruns of January 6th.
And they just
CNN
stream it
Plus.
24/7.
Yeah,
Right.
just around the
But
clock
but
coverage.
it also like cuts to like politicians like hiding under their desks and
Yeah.
screaming in terror and crying.
Remember they put those fucking gas masks on and those bubble hats and that self-breathing apparatus, and they were all escorted out. I don't even know if he's still a sitting Congress. I guess he would be. Yeah, the Maryland congressman they interview. I don't even know what the fuck this douchebag's name is, but it was just so hilarious for this guy's being interviewed and just how brave he was. Yeah, it was such clown world. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking insane.
Video of Ocasio hiding in the bathroom.
Like, right,
3 miles away.
Yeah. I did see that there's going to be a special feature, multi-part presentation. I don't know how many parts, but it's going to be AOC talking about the invasion of Ukraine by Russia and how she witnessed the whole thing, and it was almost as bad as January 6th. And as she saw the Russian troops riding around in their tanks and their light armored vehicles and everything, and she was just up against the chain link fence screaming her head off to tell them to stop, and then she saw Vladimir Putin running around in camo fatigues and a bison hat, and it just really scared the hell out of her. And it was even worse than when Will Smith smacked her at the Oscars. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what all they can do with that. How many episodes they can get? But I mean, I'm sure
that's at least a mini series, right?
Oh yeah,
at
definitely.
Least, right? Maybe some sequels, spinoffs. Who knows?
One of the people I'm hoping to see in Miami is Jason Rink. Do you guys know Jason Rink? He's a filmmaker. He came out with a documentary called Q Sent Me. And he has like he got an early interview with the guy with the horns.
The Q Shaman.
Oh yeah, Tom Woods. Tom Woods interviewed him, and I think
Tom Woods interviewed the Q Shaman.
No, not the Q Shaman, but the guy that's doing this.
He gave Jason 2 back-to-back shows.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So that sounds pretty cool, Babs.
Yeah, Jason's super cool. And anyway, he got completely scrubbed off the internet for doing this documentary.
Yeah,
like just not even having an opinion, just showing people, just having the topic out there was too much for the internet. He got like immediately everything canceled, and some of it's been a big pain in the ass because his business is video production. What's the Vimeo? Vimeo platform. It's important in the industry for like sharing and like collaboratively working on video, right? Yeah. It's kind of a commercial platform, I understand, right? It's not like just it's another video sharing platform. Like it's got important like professional features for people in the industry.
Yeah.
And
that was
so this show will not wind up on it. This show will not wind up on Vimeo.
Not this show. No.
Okay.
Not this particular show.
If we were
the other ones will. Okay.
If we were as successful as Jason, it would not be on Vimeo. But anyway, Jason's really cool, and the way his stuff gets censored on the internet tells you that he must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's why I only interview Nick Hazelton.
Who's that?
He's a legendary yak farmer.
Yak.
This is Nick is he is a legend. Did he drop out of high school for yak farming?
Yeah. He was
never looked back.
Yeah. Disillusioned, distraught. I had some stuff going on, and he decided that he wanted to be a yak farmer, and he wanted to drop out of school at like age 16. And he kind of got famous because he called into Free Talk Live, and I think Brett was one of the hosts that night. He says, "Yeah, I'm 16. I want to drop out." And they talked to him quite a bit on it. So what most people would expect out of Brett and them is if somebody says they want to drop out of school, that they just say, yeah, drop out. But they actually talked to him and found out, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to drop out to be successful, or do you want to just drop out and be a waste of space and like become a communist? And There were a lot of conversations that went on with that,
Like,
and
what's your
he
plan,
wound up,
kid?
yeah, pretty much. But he wound up getting some yaks. He's got a little herd out there, and he's posting a lot of videos on like Facebook and Instagram, and he was a co-host on the Fiends for quite a while. He's come out to Midwest Peace of Liberty Fest a number of times, and
How old is he now?
it's like 22 or 23.
Okay.
And I first met him.
His
On
yak
Facebook.
content. His yak content is excellent. I love looking at his photos, hearing
And is he
stories
successful at it?
about how to raise yaks. Seems to be. I mean, he seems like he always sells out of whatever.
What do you do?
he
Sell the
harvests.
meat?
Yeah.
Sell the meat.
So
And-
with the yak, you can trim the fur because it's really good for weaving into fibers and all that other shit. But he sells meat like $7.50 a pound. And out in Oregon where he lives, yak is not really regulated like the like cows and stuff. It's more of an exotic meat. So maybe
So
they just
no
have
FDA.
Probably avoid.
Yeah.
You avoid probably all. You could probably just take it to a private butcher. You don't have to
Pretty
go through
much.
a USDA facility. Then you're getting sucked into the whole USDA regulation. It's kind of like it sounds like a yak. Sounds like an alpaca. That seems to be where you have some of these animals that skirt normal farming, where you don't get sucked into USDA, but they're
Right.
very sustainable, and it's like a wise investment starting out.
Or like my business where I grow psychedelic frogs and harvest their venom. Right. Like,
That's
just
Yeah.
in Babs' mobile camper when he go. How do you think he affords these
Yeah.
Bitcoin events?
Yeah, Nick grows psychedelic yaks, but anyway, he's done pretty good for himself. He's had some serious lessons learned. He screwed up a couple times, but he's also done quite well. And I think I first started talking to him, he was like 14. I was running the Freedom Fiends Facebook page, and he'd send in messages every once in a while. Hey, how does this work? Oh, goddamn noob. And the conversations, and like I said, he's come out to Fest a couple times, and he's been my apprentice over at the Assault Kitchen. So
The assault kitchen. What's that about?
Yeah. Well, let's just talk
All right,
about the
tell-
fest since I weaseled my way in here. So
Yeah, do
Midwest
it.
Peace of Liberty Fest is going to be July 21st through 25th this year in Gaines, Michigan. It's not too far from Flint. It's far enough to where you can drink the water. Northwest of Detroit. And you get more information, go to mplfest.org, Mike Papa Lima Fest.org. Anyway, it's similar to Pork Fest, except it's a lot smaller. Nobody's trying to get you to move there. Nobody's trying to get you to vote. Don't have a whole lot of minarchists running around. No, the commies don't stick around very long. They generally go away. So I don't think we had any commies last year. Not that I have anything against them. I wish them all a helicopter ride and happiness and everything else. But anyway, yeah, the fest, it's a neat little event. It's definitely a camping event. There's not as many amenities as you would have at Rogers Campground, although we haven't lost water yet. Knock on wood. But we got
so you're saying it's not an environmental disaster?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right. So it's
But
a little
anyway-
bit different than Pork Fest. It's not a biohazard, right?
Yeah. But Brett Van Ott's been out there. He was out there last year. I think he's coming back this year. Prof. CJ from the Dangerous History podcast, I think he's doing a presentation. I'm trying to get a hold of Spike Cohen to finalize details on him coming out, but he doesn't check his Facebook messages. So I'm hoping that he's a listener and he's gonna hear this and he's gonna be like,
We'll reach out to him. We've had him on the podcast, and
Definite friend of the show.
yeah, friend of the show. He came down to the Maryland Libertarian Party. We crowdfunded him to come down to our annual crab feast. So Otto, who's normally here, what's Otto up to? We could get him in touch with you, no problem. Friend of the show, Spike Cohen.
yeah,
So,
he's not answering text messages on his phone either, but who knows? He's
I think
probably
it sounds like a hoot. And what better time to
That
be
sounds-
in Michigan, right? In July, like probably.
Yeah.
yeah, and I've never been to
around.
Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, you got to get there. So we're hoping that there's going to be a little pond put in for swimming out on the property. So it's a person's farm. She's got, what is it, 76 or 83 acres, something like that. It's somewhere around 80 acres, plus or minus a couple.
Fox Prairie, a 76-acre private property just southwest of Flint, Michigan. I'm looking at the website.
How's the
now.
water?
Oh, that's what it's called is Fox Prairie.
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Acre private property. Yep.
But anyway, so what really makes it the cool thing that it is you got all these people coming in, and most people know each other. If you don't know everybody there, you will by the end of the weekend. It's pretty much a guarantee. It's small enough to where you can have this intimate time together, and like with Pork Fest. There's no way that you could have substantial conversations with half of the people there. At Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest, it's a lot easier to do that.
Yeah, Pork Fest can be overwhelming, I guess, for someone, for some individuals. It can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff going on. It's adult friendly, it's family friendly. They had bows and arrows out there. I don't know if they had them last year, but they had them the year before that. And kids were shooting BB guns and stuff like that. And they're supervised. They got people that show them how to shoot properly and safely, things like that.
Who needs shooting? That's really the most important lesson to teach the youth.
I don't think there's any politicians there, though, Ben.
Who needs shooting? Right? If you're going to teach shooting.
I assume it's politician free, right?
Before you can aim the gun, you need to learn who should be shot.
The only politician that I think would be out there would be Spike if he finally starts answering his messages.
Yeah,
we'll reach out. We'll reach out.
How about Berman?
That sounds
Supreme?
awesome. No commies. No commies.
Yeah, no commies.
No commies. That was the first stipulation.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah,
I know a lot of his followers are, but I never heard him technically be a commie. But I don't hear everything, so I don't know. I'm going to just pretend he's not a commie.
I think that's the only way it's going to happen is if you pretend. But anyway, that's a side issue. But so the assault kitchen. There's a number of people out there that vend food. I'm pretty much the mainstay. There's some people that they'll do a little bit, but I do breakfast out there. Well, actually, Nick does breakfast now, and I call it Nick's Second Breakfast Cafe. So
breakfast, nice.
Yeah, because we don't get up early. Anyway, I taught him how to make omelets and hash browns and all this other stuff, and he puts together a nice little spread with a little bit of learning and yelling and a little bit of smacking around, because you don't really need the nap when you're trying to teach a young hippie kid how to do stuff. But yeah, and he'll make these
consensual. He's consenting to the training.
Yeah. So first time he came out, he was just like working for food and stuff like that and helping out. And people would say, "Hey, do you think Nick would come over and give me a hand with setting this up?" And I'd say, "Sure, give me $20. I'll send him on over there." And he'd go on over, and he'd come back, and I'd give him a couple treats, and he'd say, "Thank you." But so he picked up the breakfast operation, and he helps out quite a bit with like the main meals. I don't have the energy to do the whole darn thing like I used to. And I'm 51. I'm not gonna make a big giant breakfast for 20, 30 people and then make dinner also. I want to spend some time and have some fun shooting the bull with people. But the assault kitchen is my little setup. I got a couple propane stoves out there, usually a couple smokers / barbecue grills, nice work table, the whole 9 yards. I put out some pretty good spreads. Sacred cow ribeye dinner. That's always a favorite, along with smoked porchetta roast. Porchetta is a pork roast with Italian seasoning on it. And the best way to have it is smoked.
Nice. Now we're getting into like PRL Food Channel time.
What are you offering the vegans?
There's plenty of grass out in the field.
76 acres.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
Right.
Checking out the website, mplfest.org. It looks pretty, and it's in the on. If you're looking at Michigan, it's in like the mitt, like right there at the thumb.
Yeah,
So
it's
the
at the
crotch. Is
it's
that like
at
the
the
thumb
base.
crotch? What do you call
It's
it?
like in the
base-
sweet
yeah.
spot of the glove. Like if it was a catcher's mitt, it's
The
in the
groin. The
yeah.
groin of Michigan.
It's about looks like it's northwest of Detroit,
Yep.
close to, if you go around Lake Erie. So I don't know, probably looking at it from, so probably a doable drive. So
See, now what would be really cool to drive over there from like Maine or New Hampshire, cut through Canada would be really cool under like normal circumstances.
right.
But in lockdown world and vaccine biosecurity state, like you have to go around Canada now. So that's kind of annoying.
Right.
Yeah, I did Michigan to Vermont through Kanakistan in 2016 when I went to PorkFest.
I've done it before. I like that route. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like the alternative is to like go through like Pennsylvania and Ohio and just
It's like here's the Pennsylvania Turnpike for 10 hours. Like
Yeah, Pennsylvania wasn't too bad, but driving through New York, even upstate, I felt pretty dirty.
it's a lot of so many
well,
cops.
Canada's really progressive. I mean, even their highway is the Trans-Canadian Highway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything is very gay. It's very friendly.
The before times.
So
When it
get
was-
Maybe
out.
they'll let us back in again. I don't know.
You used to be
Yeah.
able to say gay back in those days. No.
Yeah. So everybody, get out to Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest. Round up your friends and family and get them registered today at mplfest.org.
Now, will people have to wear masks there or get a vaccine? Or
Are there vaccine requirements?
The mask that's up to you. Whatever your kink is, if you want to wear a mask, then go ahead. Vaccines, that's also up to you. Although I will say that the unvaccinated organic is probably going to be in much higher demand than the vaccinated GMO.
Facts. So that sounds like
All right.
it sounds like a good time. I'll check
I think
it
we
out.
need to have a punk rock libertarian representation.
Yeah, if only we knew a guy with a camper.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Nothing
and all
left to
this
lose.
and all this like right?
I'm in. No, I'm going.
Yeah, that sounds
July
pretty cool.
21st.
Yeah, that's around my birthday, so I could convince the other half that for my
Yeah,
birthday I want to go to Michigan.
You hear Luna?
Yeah.
She's not happy.
Luna
Yeah.
says you better get your asses up here or else she'll
Did you
be
take
there.
The cats. You do take the cats with you.
Yes.
Nice.
How does that work
Yeah.
out?
Oh, it works out great. Works out great. So I also have a camper.
But you have a big one. Mine's
Yeah.
too small for a cat.
Well, I had a 21 and a half foot tow behind. All right. You're crabby. All right, get out of here. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I had a smaller tow behind and I wound up going with a small fifth wheel. So it's the 24 footer. The total length is 30 feet, but it's considered a 24. So it's probably what's the smallest fifth wheel that Jayco makes. But anyway, I got the
What
bigger
kind of truck do you have?
F-150 V6
got-
with the EcoBoost.
Interesting.
F50. That's cool. Yeah, I got a 6-cylinder F-150.
Yeah, it pulls it pretty easily. But
Nice.
so the Aircats Jinx and Spooky, because I just got Luna not too long ago, a couple months ago. Jinx and Spooky, they wanted a larger camper so that they could run around and do their things. So I wound up getting the fifth wheel for them, not for me. And
Of course.
now that we added New Cat, so
You might have to add a second trailer tow behind that for the new cat.
yeah. Well, let's put it this way: I haven't got the New Cat chipped yet because if she runs away, I'm not sure that I want her back yet.
Oh,
Oh, they actually have so they have I'm checking out the accommodations. They have cabin tents at the
Yeah.
Liberty Festival. This is kind of like what was that fire festival, but actually legit. Like I would trust this way more than, spending thousands of dollars to go to some festival. Do you remember that scam a couple years ago? But it reminds you,
yeah, something about that. Yeah,
but
I
it already
remember.
has you already have a cabin tent already set up, over $500 of equipment, features a 10 by 10 tent, stand up, walk up around LED light for $199 for the fest plus admission. Only 10 available.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
so
So it's an
cool.
easy up, and there's a tent that you can put inside the easy up. So you've got the screen walls and all of our stuff. Keep the bugs out.
Keep the
there-
skeeters away.
Yeah, and there's a floor in there. Real nice air mattress. It's connected to electricity, so the if like the air mattress loses a little bit of air during the night, and they can do that with temperature fluctuations, it will automatically repump it up.
That's awesome.
And the inflator that tops it up and keeps it at whatever level you have it set at is like super quiet. So you're not going to wake up in the middle of the night with the Chris Cantwell driving through Porkfest drunk sound. It's
who's that guy?
What's
we don't
that?
Know who that? We don't know who that is. No, we don't have to talk about that said individual at all on the podcast. But
he that
sounds
shall
cool.
not be named.
Yes. I mean, for $15, I'm checking out. You could do the primitive for $15 a day. That's money.
Yeah.
For if you want to actually like camp, but I don't know. I think my girlfriend would like the bougie option with the inflatable, like with the air mattress and the whole setup. I mean, it's like that fire festival that was a total scam.
Why don't you get her like a sweet RV and just roll that out?
Possibly, yeah. We'll figure something out. This looks like a good event.
It's a very good event. As a matter of fact, inflatable mattresses for people with inflatable girlfriends.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that works out well too.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Exactly. It's like
we're all
you gotta come prepared, right? Whatever you're into, when you're camping.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a nice little setup, and they got showers there too, hot showers. So they got
nice.
they got like four easy ups, I think it is, and they've rigged up the walls and everything. What are those things? Oh, the tankless water heaters. So you got tankless water heaters and propane tanks. You can set the temperature for the water, whatever you want it to be. I haven't used one because I have my own shower, but it's a pretty sweet little operation.
Yeah, that could deter some people. The level, I mean, I'm cool with it, but the other half, there's a level of like roughing it. Like there's glamping, and then there's a fine line.
How did your girlfriend handle the Porkfest Rogers level accommodations?
I'm just saying
it's not the best for the ladies,
No, not at all. She toughed it out, but the fact that Porkfest is so overrun that they shut the water off during the day.
Right, so many people needed water, so they turned it off.
Yeah, so they allow the well to fill up for at nighttime and in the morning, so people still can get a shower
you're just expected to hold it until the next day, and then flush.
Right. So the porta potty overflow throughout the day at Porkfest was that was a level of roughing it. Plus, so that was a big determining factor. So,
now we do have porta potties out there, so they're not. It's not indoor plumbing, but they're not bad. They're not horrible.
Okay. Yeah, the indoor plumbing at Porkfest is definitely that's a level of, I don't know.
That's basically porta potty.
Okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Porkfest porta potty used to be the phrase that you would use to describe what's now called a dumpster fire. Because those things are just absolutely horrible.
But yeah, it looks like
standards. Things have gotten better since you've been there. I think when you were at Porkfest, it was kind of like peak of where it was sort of like so far beyond capacity. But now I don't know. I think they've it's new management and whatnot. Like it's been pretty civilized.
And people quit going to Porkfest.
It's been actually the past couple of years have been sellouts. It's been selling
Oh,
out
really?
I was
campground
going to say,
and
none of
selling
these
out
issues
tickets.
were problems when I went. Like, none of these like, it must have grown significantly since
Yeah.
2000, 2016, I think I went. And it was not like, there were not that many people there when I went. Like, you could go take a shower, you could walk around. Like, it was not like what you guys are describing. It seems kind of insane to me.
That just shows the level, like the growth of the Liberty movement, and just because like the early times going to PorkFest, that was not an issue. So this past year, that was kind of a shock. And then when you bring like your girlfriend who's literally camped only one time before that, and it's like, hey, like you might not be able to take a shower. Sorry. It's like
Your
Well,
mother
at least you
water
had-
around Thursday. You
I
should
mean,
be able
most
to
time I
judge
camp,
the
you don't even
success
have
of
a
the
porta potty.
festival by the size of the garbage pile, where like underneath is the dumpster, right? Like some people think of it as the bear feeding area, but there's dumpsters, and it's years ago it would just become a massive like full size Giza pyramid of trash, and like. At some point he figured out, he's like, oh, you know what? I can actually schedule the trash truck to come like midweek, like
yeah.
Now, do you
even
measure
old
this?
Crosby learned some stuff.
Now, do you measure the success of PorkFest on the number or on the size of the trash heap, or the number of bears that come to feed from it? Or is like the bears that come to feed, is that like extra credit?
The bears are just do their own thing, so they're going to feed regardless of the size of the pile. But theoretically, if it got big enough, I guess like bears would come from far and wide, as that scent would just drift for states away. But I think Crosby actually got in trouble. I don't remember the details, but that doesn't stop us from talking about things on this show. Something about like illegal disposal of trash on his own property, where he might have just like been bulldozing garbage like into his own property, like for the hell of it, like made his own like trash heap, like, and then got busted by this county or something like that.
Yeah, the scent of PorkFest brings a lot of things in. Bears, people.
Scent, yeah. I remember years ago, like when the girls were little, were walking around Philly, and one of them said, like, "This smells like PorkFest," right? It was a combination of like hobo urine, tobacco smoke,
weed,
your typical
like
weed,
sauce. Like, I don't know exactly what the aroma was in the city, but Philly doesn't usually smell that great.
Yeah. So I've been to PorkFest twice. The first time was 2014. And as far as I'm concerned, that was like the peak year. A lot of people that have gone several times have agreed with that and said, yeah, that was the peak year. But but it was kind of like the past couple of years have changed things. Like, it's under new management, and they're like, it's fun. Rogers or PorkFest?
PorkFest.
Okay. So in 2014, most of the Fiends were out there. And as far as speakers go, there were a lot of big names there. And then just as far as like attendees, it was pretty much darn near anybody that I had heard of that I wanted to meet, people that I knew on Facebook or something like that. But I got a chance to meet like a lot of people. And I found that I have very little use for celebritarians after that. That they're a little bit too full of themselves. But anyway, that was the peak year though. And then when I went in 2016, that was the year that Free Talk Live, Ian got banned, and like most of LRN.
That was a dark time. That was a rough period.
Yeah, that was the last time I was there. And from how it sounds, the next couple of years, the numbers were decreasing to a point to where they reduced the number of days that PorkFest lasted, and the next logical conclusion was going to be a drop it down to just a one-day Google Hangout.
It wasn't quite that bad, but it almost got down to where like the level of attendance that Rogers could handle. That's how bad it was, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
the carrying capacity of Rogers.
yeah, like we almost got down to that level where it wasn't just like a health hazard.
Yeah,
But,
now it's just a Giza pyramid of PorkFest
Right.
trash.
But 2 years ago, Ian was back with VIP status, right, under new management. Like, and the tickets were sold out when everything else had been shut down for COVID. They were like, "Fuck it." They kept it open, and and I
Yeah,
think
it was
it's
a blast.
it's a new level of success as a
And then all
result
the
of
Mises Caucasians got
Oh, right, and then
COVID.
Mises
So
Caucus
it was a
came and
super
gave everybody
spreader event.
COVID.
Yeah.
So-
Mises Caucus made sure it was a super spreader event, but still, people still are going to come back again.
So who's running the
Otto.
show now with that?
I don't know. I
Right,
just
we don't know.
camp there and party all week. How would
Well,
I
you
know
said
what's going on?
you said there's new people running it.
Well, different organizers. There's just
Yeah.
the organizers change from time to time, and I'm trying to remember the guys. I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but I think they're doing a pretty good job.
Are they still going around trying to get people to sign the pledge to move there and
No.
saying,
I think
No,
they
that-
are
that's
exceeded.
done.
It's
done.
over.
Everybody
you
moved
accept the-
already.
will you
It's
accept
just
the
a
Free
party
State
now.
Project? Would you accept the Free State Project as your Lord and Savior? Here, if you sign this today, because I remember both times I was there, it was almost like I feel like as in a timeshare presentation. Are you sure you don't want to sign this today? You sure you don't want
Yeah.
to become a member of the Free
What do we do
State
to get
Project?
you into the Free State Project today?
You get all these benefits. We'll get you a free LP membership at a reduced cost and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, God.
Ooh. Well, I never paid any attention to that stuff anyway, so who cares, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
New
It's
Hampshire's beautiful.
definitely a different vibe. Yeah, because they far exceeded that goal. So it's less timeshare pitch vibe. But so
What they exceeded, like how many people signed or how many people actually moved there?
I think that's
well,
signed.
who knows who knows?
and committed
First of
to
all,
move.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
we
how
were
would you
probably
know,
not-
right?
first of all, the whole signature thing was kind of like, it was kind of like a kludge because the original deal was it was within a certain time period, had to get enough signatures within a certain time period, right? To be like, I agree to move if 20,000 signatures are gotten before like 2006 or something. I mean, it was a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
They had a finite period of time. It wasn't an open-ended thing. People signed early on knowing that we need this many people in this many years, and if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen, right? But that didn't happen. But then people kept signing, and then they got 20,000. But that's not really the original goal because that goal was never met. But this new goal of 20,000 was met for whatever that's worth. And then presumably these people some of them are moving, and that's great. Who cares, right? Like none of these details really interested me, but it is just a great place, and there's a lot of great anarchists and libertarians of all stripes up there. It is a pretty good, it'd be a great place to be for any kind of libertarian or anarchist.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people that actually just moved there and said, I'm not signing your social contract. Here I am, though. And they're like, no, you got to sign the social contract. And then they started complaining because some people weren't doing libertarianism the proper way.
But yet
Kyle Wagner way.
everybody has their own way. Some people are really into being state reps. And I went to a Liberty Forum event. Like, have you ever been to Liberty Forum? It's kind of like PorkFest, but for squares in the winter. And
Someone's really dedicated to move to New Hampshire in the winter.
and it's like Manchester at a hotel. And when I went, there's people I saw them. They're walking around at the cocktail party with suits, and they had special badges on that were like, I'm a state representative, and it had like a special seal, and it kind of like. They literally are like wearing badges to like show like, look, we're in the government, and we're one of you guys, and like everybody's like rubbing elbows and all happy and everything. So square.
What were some of the
right?
secret handshakes? Did you pick up
Square.
on any? Yeah,
But-
that sounds.
Yeah, I think the reach around is the secret handshake of elected politicians. But
so that's the
Anywho.
one side of it. But then you got the agorists and the civil disobedient people and the drug addicts and the ayahuasca people and the right? And the school bus people and the like. It's just it's the whole spectrum. Everybody's on the spectrum somewhere.
It's the whole libertarian the autism spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire rainbow.
Oh, Pete Eyre and Adamo Freeman were there.
Yeah.
Last year. Yeah. Original Cop Block dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was real happy to meet them in 2014. And Pete stopped in Detroit a few times, like out on the Cop Block tour. And then just when he went wandering, traveling across the country doing kung fu and solving mysteries and shit.
And remember their band, the Marv, the Mobile Authority Resistance Vehicle? Was that like black and yellow RV that they had like painted and had sponsors all over it from Freedom's Phoenix and Future of Freedom's Foundation and antiwar.com, and like they just would drive around and wait for cops to harass them and film it. And
I think when they came to Detroit, they had the Cop Block Mobile, something like that.
Good times. Those guys
Oh man,
cool.
I'm getting all nostalgic now.
Yeah, we should take we should take the good times over to the after hours. I think
it's about that time.
We can get into some stories on the after hours.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll call it here. So thanks everybody for coming on.
MPLFest.org.
Yeah, Lou, do you want to plug any of your social medias or anything else? Or
I am the absentee landlord of LouSandersShow.com. It was supposed to be a podcast, and I haven't put anything out in a couple of years, but I'm very strongly thinking about maybe possibly doing something in the near or far future as far as podcast goes. I got a bunch of satire articles on there right now, like Colonial Lives Matter, Facebook bans every single user, shit like that. But anyway,
that's some good stuff.
LouSandersShow.com. Check that out. Twitter, I only go on there like once every couple months to troll Elizabeth Warren. So, and you can follow me on
just her.
A valid.
There's a handful of people.
See, could I do Twitter where all I see is Lou trolling Elizabeth Warren? Like to me, that would be reason to use Twitter, right?
Lou.
But no, just Lou trolling Elizabeth Warren only. I'd love to just have like
none of his other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I troll George Takei. Yeah.
Oh, okay, dude.
Yeah,
you mean you troll his interns because the guy's like 95 years old.
Yeah.
Well, and by interns you mean whoever, like the intern at the DNC, right? That bought the account.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I remember when he used to have like a bunch of dad jokes and puns on there. I mean, he was actually really entertaining, like back during the Obama years. But once Trump got elected, oh my God, the fangs came out and with the whole Branch Covidian stuff. Oh God, he turned into a real Karen there.
It's so easy to troll though. It's like as soon as he starts like telling you to trust the government, you just bring up like what they did to his family. Like, trust the government. They wouldn't put us in camps or anything, would they?
Yeah.
So many shit libs on Twitter. But we'll talk about it in the after hours, shit posting on Liberty Twitter. But Jared, you want to plug some of the PRL sponsors? And we got a table at the Libertarian.
We've got a table. If you are in Maryland and you're listening to this show, come check us out at the Maryland LP Convention. It's coming up this Saturday at somewhere. Look it up.
Beefalo Bob's at
Beefalo Bob's in Pasadena. Right?
Let's go to the Maryland Libertarian page.
So we'll be out there. We'll be hawking T-shirts, stickers, just hanging out, and that'll be fun. And then also we've got Libertarian Country, who makes those T-shirts for us. They are a sponsor of the show. They are awesome. And if you go to their website and you type in code PRL or PRL Podcast, you will save 10% off of your order. If you order more than $50 or more, you enter PRL 2. You can save 20%. So check them out. We're also sponsored by Moral Bob and his show Hidden in Plain Sight. Check that show out. It's good stuff. And then also Wheelie's Pharmacy. They sell CBD products. And you can use, I think, code PRL and save 10%, I think.
That sounds about right.
So, yeah. That's going to be it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And until next time, live free
Or die.